Exclamation, everybody, and welcome to Delta V, Rings of Saturn. It is by Codera Software, and it's not released on Steam just yet, but you can download the demo and play that for free to get a good look-see at what's going on here. Astute watchers of the channel will know that I've already looked at this game once before. I wasn't particularly kind to it the first time around, but the dev has actually reached out to me and actually asked me to take another look at it. It's had many changes, and I've actually been following the development, at least somewhat. It's hard to follow all the developments of all the games that I've played, but I try my best here and there. And I've played a little bit again off camera, and there's been some changes, and I have some feedbacks for all those things. So join me while I revisit Delta V here. Let's go, and we're going to start with a new game, just because I'll show you the tutorial that's in here now, which is actually pretty good. So we'll delete the current save game. And the nice thing is now, back when we played the demo, there was no Claudius Station. There is now, so we can see what's going on with all that stuff. Lots of changes and whatnot around. So we start out with a small tutorial, which is nice. Show you all the keys and everything. So you got the autopilot orientation here with the right click. You've got the autopilot bearing. You can see how it kind of pushes your ship along there. Different bearings. Then you can also do the manual thrust like we did before. WASD, E and A and all that stuff. Yeah, E and Q I should say. Shift gives you your huge engine, and T or Alt gives you your adrenaline booster, so you can kind of like slow down time and get a good hold on what's going on. And then the very nice, probably the most used feature I've been doing is the autopilot hold position. So you got that with the X. So just like in the base, just like in the game before, we want to go around and destroy some asteroids and collect some rocks. Now, I'm going to be mostly using the autopilot because the manual controls are, well, the manual controls continue to be frustrating as all hell. So, but the automatic controls are actually rather good. So there's autopilot hold position again. So recon drone, page up, page down, or zoom in and out for the camera zoom. And the excavator is enter or the middle mouse click, which is also rather nice. So let's go over here and see if we can grab this thing. This other guy he's going to try to steal my stuff here. He's just going to generally get in my way. Nope, he stole my stuff. Well, thanks for all right, well, that was a thing. Oh, what is going on here? Suddenly my ship is going crazy. I don't know what's happening here, but it's the autopilot and stuff is going crazy. I think there's a bit of a bug. I can't here we go. I can't, it won't let me stop. It won't let me stop. Here we go. All right. That was a thing. So yeah, it's I think something is going on here where I will not stop spinning and stuff here. Like I literally turned my head to sneeze and everything went to hell in the handbasket here. So our onboard computer is damaged and stuff right now because we banged into that guy who stole our thing, which did not happen the last time I did the tutorial, so that's interesting. We're getting some emergent gameplay here. You will notice, though, I have turned the bloom off because that just makes the YouTube videos look terrible because YouTube's compression is horrible. But we'll go into the onboard maintenance system and see if we can do some stuff here. So you can see they've got the maintenance system looks pretty much the way it looked back when we looked at it last time, where you just you're kind of manipulating sliders here, which don't really have any. I mean, they have words on them, but the words don't really mean anything that I could tell. I mean, they probably do. Like, if I were to reduce a reactor leak, it probably would leak the reactor or something. I assume. I don't know. I assume these all actually have some kind of actual gameplay consequences. But to be honest, and this is since we're on the screen, I might as well give my feedback on the maintenance system. I feel like you could have just as easily made this like A, B, and C, and it would still make as much sense to me as it does now. It could just be A, B, and C, and it would still be like, oh, I just gotta screw with these sliders and make it not be red. But there is if I were to say, like, what could you do to make this make more sense to me or be more interesting to me, at least, I would say take a page from there was the Spider-Man game on PS4 from last year, that had a mini game in it where you were actually doing like electronic circuits and trying to make the power come out to a certain number. Now, I'm not saying go full blast on the whole 2D, like, oh, you got parts here that you can do and you got to rotate them and all that stuff. I'm not saying go that far, but you could take a small page from it and be like, have a number somewhere here, maybe at the end of the row, that is the power output, right? And have each one of these things have a optimal power output. And then as things get damaged, have these labels change to appropriate numbers. So like, say +5 volts, -3 volts, +2 volts, or something like that. And as you slide it along here, the number goes up by +2 or goes down by -3 or whatever slider you're sliding. And the idea is to get it into as close to that ideal number as you can. And I feel like that would utilize the existing thing you have here and be, in my opinion, infinitely more interesting than what you have here right now. But that from my perspective, that's what, I feel like this screen, I rarely even want to bother with the screen because it's like I just randomly sliding sliders, I guess, to make things happen. So that's why I say, you might want to look into something like that possibly, to see that might be something interesting. But let's get back to autopiloting. I finally figured out that the color over here, you see it's green now, the background, the outline of our thing, is related to how much fuel we have left, because that's actually our fuel level. I never knew that. I was always wondering what that meant and why I seemingly kept getting damaged, and it wasn't really damage, it was just the fuel thing. So I figured that out now, which is nice. And since our onboard computer is damaged, you're seeing all this like crazy pixelated stuff. So don't adjust your TVs. That's actually happening. So now I'm going to I've destroyed that rock and it pulled this other rock out. And now I'm going to use the autopilot to get me over to it, because doing the manual thrusting is horrible. I stand by what I said many moons ago, in that it's like QWOP in space. You know what I mean? It almost feels purposely infuriating. So there you go, grab that guy. So we got that. You can see it over here in our cargo hold. and it'll bounce around as we do things. So yeah, the autopilot's rather good. The one thing I would say though, and one thing I've noticed, and this might be intentional. I'm not entirely sure, but the one thing. Ooh, let's come on there. No, damn this guy. This might be. Come on. Oh no, face the right way. Face this way. There you go. Oh crap! He's just that's gone. 27 minutes of me chasing down one little thing here. Did I lose my? Oh, did I lose my cargo? Oh no, it's still there. Okay. I'm like, it wasn't showing up for a second. So, yeah, I mean, this is basically. I'm not big into simulated stuff. I mean, I do like to go out of my comfort zone from time to time. This is definitely outside my normal comfort zone. I mean, it's sci-fi, so I immediately like it anyway. But it's the simulated stuff. It always kind of bothers me because you end up spending, like, as I say, 20 minutes just trying to capture one rock here. One small rock that's not even going to pay for the amount of damage is being done to your ship. And we'll talk about that. And you see we're in yellow now because of our propellant. The one thing, and you see I'm holding steady here, and I guess this is because the autopilot is still on, but you can see it's still using propellant even though we're not seemingly moving. And we are getting little puffs of thrusters. So I'm wondering, I don't know if this is in the game or not, but I'm wondering if there's a way to like temporarily turn the autopilot off so that, like, if I really wanted to conserve fuel, like for instance, if I'm just kind of cruising along at a slow speed or something like that, it'd be kind of neat if I could, like this here, like we're kind of drifting right now, but we're still using propellant, and it would be kind of neat if I could turn the autopilot off and just kind of coast without using any propellant up. Now that might be, there are upgrades and stuff that you can get, so, and I haven't played enough of the game to like see the upgrades, so that might be something that comes up later on, so don't crucify me if I'm saying things that are actually still in the game. This is a first impressions video for a reason. I haven't played enough of it to really say whether or not something's in the game or not in the game. Oh, come on now. I want you to turn this way. The autopilot is a little bit finicky, but then again, everything is sort of finicky in the game right now. It's like everything feels like it overcompensates a bit. Like even with the, oh, see now it's, I don't know what the hell it's doing. I don't know why it's going all the way around there, but it is. It feels like, oh boy. This is what happens. This is what happens right here, is that it, you often find yourself just in a spot where it will just, even with the autopilot, it'll just kind of, you just keep flipping you, keep spinning you over and over and over again. And it's like, it's trying to, it's like it's not always picking the most optimal routes to get you to whatever heading you're asking for. Which again, it's still, I mean, this is not released yet. It's still early. So I'm not criticizing, like, it might just be a bug. It might be intentional. I don't, it's hard to tell. With a game like this, it's hard to tell what's actually intentional and what's actually a bug, because some of this is meant to be challenging, and that would certainly be challenging if your autopilot was, and then of course there's also, upgrades and stuff, so it could be just that's intentional. Oh, for crying out loud. I hate that. I hate it. Now you understand why I don't even try to use the manual controls. They're worse than this. Like 110% worse than this. Right here. Alright, come on. I want you to spin this way. Oh, why did you overcompensate? I mean, it's probably overcompensating because of the damage, and I get it. But it's like... It's getting to an annoying level here. Oh, we got something that's... escaping us. Don't escape us. Why must you escape us? And he's gonna stop right there. Okay, come on. Come on. I am almost out of propellants. This is fun times here. Fun times. Let's see if we can grab this guy. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, for crying out loud. Come on. Come on. Ugh, you know what? It's not even worth it. You just get to a point where it's just like, you know what? It's not... I'm just more aggravated than having fun right now. Let's go and get some of our... Yeah, our propellant is very low. So let's go and... try to get back to Claudius Station. Maybe. Yeah. So it looks like, yeah, it's trying to maintain that one heading, which is probably why I'm using propellant still. And I don't know if there's a way to turn that off so that it stops using propellant, but I guess it's... I mean, that could be also, you know, part of the challenge too. Alright, let's go back here. Now, the problem right now is everything in the shop is super duper expensive, which means I'm probably going to go into negatives very quickly compared to the amount that I just hauled in here. I'm hoping that's just a balance thing and not just intentional. Because, like, I can sell these things for 905 $dollar signs. I'm going to just call it 905 Claudius bucks, I guess. And this one for 746, so we'll sell all those. Which gives me 21,652 Claudius bucks. So if I go... Now, well, let's look at repairs first. You can see we got a lot of stuff that's just ridiculous here. You know, you could fix something for 1,000, but it takes 4 hours to do it, and you can see our time up here. Or you can replace it for an hour and it costs the whole shebang. I mean, at this point, some of these I might just have to plain old replace. This one's got a reactor leak already. That's 80,000 though, so there's not much we can do there except try to fix it for 5 grand. Fix it again, I guess. 85. Yeah, see, we're just going to go into the negatives here, and then the onboard computer, we're just going to replace that. So I'm just going to replace all these. So you can see we can go into the negatives. I mean, it's might as well. Might as well just replace them. So we're down to negative 79,000. Now, I think I saw a bug in the upgrades thing here. Let's see if we see it again. Yeah, so I don't know if this is a bug or a downgrade. Because you see here it says minus 5,000E, and this says 5,000E for projectile magazine, which is installed. So I'm not sure if this is, by buying this, am I buying a downgrade? That's why I'm getting 5,000 back, or if that's just something that is supposed to be like balanced to your level or something, and you're really, it's, I don't know. I'm not sure how to interpret that. because it says seal for projectile magazine, right? So if I look at this, seal for kinetic ammunition compartment for ships that don't use kinetic projectiles, right? And then projectile magazine says storage for kinetic projectiles includes rails, railing variety of standard ammunition types, and automated delivery system. But I don't know if I go down to this one. Like, I have a mass driver, right? Which is a projectile. And then this is a rapid fire one. So I'm guessing this means it's a downgrade. Like, that's why they're giving me 5,000 back. Right? Because I'll sell this off and it'll go to that, maybe? I don't really know. Because everything's just kind of a list here and it's hard to tell. You know, obviously the magazines all go together and the tanks all go together, but it's kind of hard to tell. Since everything's just a homogeneous list right now, it's hard to tell what you're actually doing. Like, I would like, maybe this should say downgrade, or maybe this should instead, or maybe it should be more like I should see sell here, right? And I could sell that and it would pop me up to this one. Like, maybe have these all have maybe a line around them or something, or have a section here that's just magazines and say like, this is the low ball magazine and these are the high grade magazines, and then just kind of like you have a buy to go up a level or a sell to go back up a level to go. Let's try that again. Buy to go down a level, or sell to go back up the level, up the tree, maybe something like that, because it's hard to tell exactly what I'm doing here. I think this means I'm downgrading, which I might need to do just to get some money back. Yeah, because it took the projectile magazine away and went to seal for projectile magazine, which I don't. I mean, those two things seem like, it seems like this is an upgrade for projectile magazine, not a different one. So maybe there's some wording needed there as well. And then there was another one here too that was bothering me. So we have standard cargo bay. Oh, this one, autopilot dummy plug. So you got basic autopilot, right? Not capable of adapting to changes on thruster configuration. So then adapting autopilot can adapt to changes in ship configuration, mass shifts, and all that stuff. Okay, and then military grade is pretty good. So yeah, there are upgrades to the autopilot. So maybe that's why it was kind of wonky and going the long way around to things. But then the dummy plug is no automatic pilot capabilities. Okay, so buying that would then not give me any autopilot, I guess, which is definitely not what I want. So that would be selling that off and getting 10,000 back. Okay, so I think I understand now, because I looked at this before and it was like minus, I think it was like 25,000 or something, minus 25,000. I saw that and I was like, oh, sure, I'll take some money back. Not realizing that I was like downgrading stuff. So maybe that must be what it is, because so some, you know, maybe some reorganization of this, like maybe put them as a tabbed view or something and say like, here's the things at the top are the low tier ones, the things at the bottom are the high tier ones, and have your buy and sell buttons kind of like, you know, line up with it so you can see it go up or go down based on what you need, that kind of thing. But anyway, I have chatted enough about that. Let's launch our ring drive. I don't know how long you can go with a negative balance. I'm assuming not very long, but I do find there's an argument to be had that by having you go into debt early like this, it makes it more interesting, especially if you're really into sort of the economic, like I'm running a mining operation kind of thing. I'm on the fence about that kind of thing. I'd rather the early game be more like, hey, we're going to go a little bit easier on you at first with the prices, and then maybe they jack the prices up a little bit later on or something. You know what I mean? Or make the as you're collecting things, as you're selling ores off, make the ores not sell for quite as much. You know, have like the economy go that way. Because early on, I get kind of frustrated pretty easily. Actually, very easily. Especially early on when it's like, you know, I'm just trying to make money, and all I'm getting is like more and more in debt no matter what I do. Which obviously there's a you know, just get good noob part of that as well. But it's some more. It's like I said, it's for some people. Some people love getting beaten over the head immediately upon entering a game. I prefer the beatings to come slightly later, but it's all a preference thing, not a you know, not necessarily a bad thing as far as design and whatnot. All right, let's see if I can actually get something here. Oh, I can't shoot my mass driver now because I sold that thing off. Well, okay. So here comes a question. If I can't shoot my mass driver because I don't have a thing for it, how do I collect ores now? Do I have to look for ores that are just available? Do I have to bump into them? Do I have to use my thrusters here to kind of break these things apart? So I can use my thrusters to break them apart. By the way, I'm holding down left click and I'm dragging, and it's actually a lot nicer than trying to use the arrow keys or the WASD, in my opinion. Okay, can I like break this thing up? Okay, yeah, I can do that. Using up a lot of propellant, but I don't have... See, I feel like they shouldn't let you get into a situation where you can't actually do the main thing in the game. But, like I said, maybe there's, like, floating stuff around that I could just grab. I'm kind of looking at the LiDAR up at the top there a little bit. I don't see anything, though. I mean, maybe I'm seeing something and I don't realize I'm seeing something. Because, like, things on the LiDAR appear to be changing color as they move around. So I'm hard-pressed to tell you if I'm seeing lots of ores or seeing nothing. But again, that's also something else that can be upgraded, so I guess it makes sense that it would be, like, super inaccurate right now. Alright, well, we got a little bit of that going. Come on, baby. See, the thrusters are just destroying it, not actually giving me something to collect. I wonder if I can just kind of, like, do just the briefest edge of it. It kind of damaged it a little bit. Oh, there we go. That got me something. Come here, baby. Come here. Let's flip around. Let's get our... See, I can manage the keyboard better this way. There we go. There's one thing. Like if I'm using the mouse to do the mouse movements to make the adjustments in speed and whatnot, it's a lot easier for me because then I can use the keyboard to open them all. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Here we go. There we go. There's a jackpot. Come on, baby. Come to Papa. Oh, you're going to hit that thing. That's good. It slowed you down a little bit. Come on. Come on. Come over here. Get in my belly. Get in my belly. There we go. We got you. We got you. Ooh, don't hit that. It didn't look like it did any damage though. So that's good. And that is down in the bottom of our cargo hold. That's nice. Looks like we got some iron. And I don't remember all the periodic table, so I'm gonna say platinum, and we definitely have water there. I'm gonna say the PT is platinum, but I don't remember. Science. All right, so we got. So hey, who needs a mass driver, right? Who needs a mass driver when you've got a ton of propellant and a whole lot of time on your hands? All right, let's do that. No, nothing there. Okay. I'm sure the LiDAR is probably screaming at me about certain things here, that rocks that are better prospects, but you know, I'm gonna do. Just gonna do. I wonder if doing it this way makes it harder to get like H2O, because you would think that would burn up faster. Oh, come on, baby. No, you didn't leave me anything, huh? Alright. You insist. Though our propellant is not great right now. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Alright, and we're gonna go like that. Grab that. Excellent. Ooh, we're going really fast. Going really too fast. I'm trying to stay towards the outer edge of the rings there. You can see on the visual feed where we're at. I'm trying to stay to the outer edge because we're using up so much propellant here. Come on. Get hot under the collar. Ooh, what was that? Oh, I targeted it. Oh. Oh, I can click on things. Oh, I did not know I could click on things. I was wondering how to get that targeting thing. I did not know that. That would have made things a lot easier. I know I was seeing it before, and I'm like, I wonder why I'm not seeing that anymore. Because it actually helps you to see what the relative velocity of things are, which is really good. I'm glad that they added that there, because it's really hard otherwise to know what your velocity is compared to the thing that you're trying to capture. There we go. There we go. Oh, we're getting a little overheated, aren't we? Oh, no, we're okay. No, we're okay. All right. It's good. It looked like we were getting overheated for a minute there, but I think we're okay. Let's, we are running low on the propellant, so let's get back to the farm here. Ooh, let's also not bang into things. Damn it. Damn it. Getting too far ahead of myself. Gotta remember, slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. Uh-oh. Oh! And the game crashed. Oh, I was doing so good, too. I was doing so good and the game crashed on me. It is still early. It's still a very early game, so crashes are going to happen, but that was particularly heartbreaking because I was doing so well with not having a mass driver. So I guess I should probably upgrade this again. Oh, I can't buy it because it's okay. So I'm now permanently downgraded. I can't go further into debt. All right, that's fine. That's just fine. It's a shame I can't just sell off the mass driver since it's not doing me any good right now. All right, we'll launch again. Oh, that sucks. You know what? I know this is going to be a point of contention, but having an autosave, maybe not an autosave, having a save function where you can save while you're still in the rings, I think might be a good idea. And maybe they have it, and I don't know about it, because the only thing I know about it is it does say save and quit when you go into the menu. But I don't know if it's going to save when you're here inside the rings or going to save when you're back at it in Claudius. And I get to that it's kind of a little bit more dangerous to have saves while you're here because you could end up in a death spiral where you're constantly, you have so little, you saved and you have so little health left that you're just going to just die as soon as you load up again, pretty much. But it still would be really nice. It would still be a very nice thing indeed to have that. Let's have you flip around this way, and we're going to come over this here a little bit, and we're going to go just like this, Let's target this guy. Ooh, there we go. Oh, wow, we sent that. we gave that quite the velocity boost here. Come on. And into our mall you go. All right. Very nice. Yeah, with the drag and drop, it's a lot. Drag and drop. With the dragging of the mouse, it's a lot easier because you can see, like, when it's in the center here, you're going very slow. So you can kind of really just, which you're actually manipulating it when you. So that highlights it, right? Does that give me any idea of what's in it? I guess not. I mean, the LiDAR just says white, so I guess it's probably iron. If even that. Okay, nothing from that. Oh, I see. You're doing the autopilot relative now to the body that you're going after when you click on it. Oh, that's probably a lot nicer. Okay, yeah, that actually works out better then, because then you can you're not going to necessarily smash into something because you're doing it based on your orientation here. Oh, come back. No, spin. Back this way. Yeah, this is a lot nicer. I didn't realize I could click on these and do the autopilot based on the object itself. Oh, maybe that's what was happening the last time when I was like, oh, it's my autopilot's going all over the place. It's because I didn't realize it had switched its context to just these smaller rocks. And that explains it. Okay. Does anything have anything of worth here? There is some... I'm seeing some, like, yellow things here. kind of wish... I mean, I get that it's more realistic that the rocks don't tell you. That simply looking at the rocks doesn't give you an idea of what's in them. But man, it would be really nice if I could get a good idea of what was in these things before I waste lots of propellant trying to take them down. Come on, baby. Come on. Still nothing, huh? Let's get over here. Huh, nothing there. And I'm getting incredibly unlucky, I'm guessing. Oh, somebody's firing. Watch where you're firing, sir or madam. Nope, that's not what I want. Left click versus right click. Just gotta get used to it. Oh, no. Go back. Come on. Back this way. And... come over here and do it. Yeah, I'm coming up a whole bunch of empty right now. Coming up empty. As empty as I can. Music is changing. For some reason. Oh, this guy's attacking me. I can't fire back. I can autopilot relative to him and just kind of bash into him a little bit. Oh no, there's nothing. We are as dead can be right now. Alright, well, this is a thing. You know what? It was a bad run anyway. Alright, emergency autopilot. Okay. Oh, I didn't know you could hold down and fast forward too. Well, there's that. Yeah, so we got a whopping whole lot of nothing out of that. A whopping whole lot of nothing except a lot of damaged and completely damaged things. So yeah, that's a thing. I guess we'll go well into debt for it. Why not? Why not? We have no hope of succeeding here anyway. We might have had a hope of succeeding at one point in time, but not anymore. So, yeah, I mean, so far so good. A couple of points that I pointed out there. Maybe it's not great that you can put yourself in a situation where you can't progress, I guess. I don't know. The beginning of the game is a very, for me, it's a very hard sell, right? Because it feels like I'm just, like right now, at this point, I'd be like, let's just start a new game and just pretend that this didn't happen. But But even then, it feels like, I mean, this is like the second or third game I've played in a row here. And every time I come away from it, I'm like, man, that initial hill you got to climb is really, really steep. And it really comes down to what your preferences are for that. Do you really like a really, really difficult hill at the beginning, or do you prefer one that's, you know, maybe a little bit more manageable at first before it goes over the cliff? I don't know. I for one seem to be leaning more towards this is a little bit rough. Like it's a hard sell at the very beginning here when you're just kind of like trying to figure things out, and it's every deep dive is, you know, a 20 to 30 minute affair. It feels like, I mean, it might not even be that much time. It might be really like 10 or 15 minutes, but it feels double the amount of time, you know, when you're just kind of floating around trying to get things collected and trying to manage your fuel and all that stuff. And then to come back to here, sell all that stuff off, and then realize you can't afford anything is pretty heartbreaking. I would say, because it's like, wow, you know, I went through all that trouble to grab all those rocks, those freaking rocks that are bouncing around in your, you know, in your cargo hold and all that stuff, and trying to keep them from bouncing out and all that stuff. You went through all that trouble and you got enough for, you know, a candy bar. So it's, from that perspective, I kind of wonder whether or not it's like, is this something that I could, how many people are going to get over that initial hump? I don't know. I know from my perspective, I would probably, you know, like I'd very rapidly get to a point where I just don't feel like I don't feel like the game is respecting my time, I guess. That's the nicest way I can put that. It's like, it feels like, you know, I'm more, the older I get, the more I'm like, I just want a game where I can sit down for 20, 30 minutes and feel like I made progress. And this game doesn't feel like you could sit down for 20 or 30 minutes and actually make any progress unless you've gotten past that initial hurdle and you have some upgrades already and stuff like that. It feels very heavy-handed at the very beginning here. So, but you know, that's, I mean, to each their own. To each their own. I'm not saying it's bad in any way, shape, or form. I think it's I'm not entirely in the audience that would enjoy this kind of thing. Although I do love sci-fi, and I do, you know, I'm more of an action arcade kind of person. I mean, you know, I like cerebral stuff too, but I'm more of an arcadey kind of person, less than simulation. But when the simulation is done in a way that is not annoying, I'm more geared towards that. This one here, it's a bit annoying for me. So that's why it's probably why I'm being a little bit harder on it than I would anything else, because it's like, I feel like it's right on the cusp of being something that I could really get into, but it's just too darn annoying right now. So that's my take on it. But anyway, I'm more than happy to revisit it again. I will revisit it again. Hopefully the next time it'll be released, and I can revisit it then when it goes out onto Steam. But I'm also up for doing it again even prior to that, as needed. I would have liked to see what the tuning and crew and all that stuff entails. I have no idea where they're going with that. But again, it's like, it's hard. I think, I don't know, maybe this might be one of those scenarios where when you're in, like, this is it's not really early access. I mean, I have early access to it, but it's not really necessarily early access. But I feel like this is one of those times where you kind of have to have a conceit built in, where it's like, look, I want you guys to really kick the tires on this, so I'm going to make everything really super cheap, and I'm going to make the early game really easy to get over, so you can get to some of the later game stuff, so you can really look and see where the hook is. So yeah, there's an argument that's like, that's not really, you're not really showing the game for what's actually going to be in release versus that. But I'm like, maybe, I don't know, maybe there should be, maybe this is an argument for having a difficulty, not, I was going to say difficulty slider. No, having a difficulty setting. Like maybe there should be, like, instead of money, say, being the thing, or maybe like you could put it on easy where all the things cost really cheap, or maybe it could be more of a, when you put it on, say you have like more of a, I don't know, like a creative sandboxy kind of mode or whatever, where it's like instead of money, it's experience. So every time you gather resources, you gain like experience points, and those experience points then go towards unlocking the upgrades and stuff. Like that way you can still have a progression and not make it based on how badly you failed along the way. You know what I mean? And then the harder difficulty would then be just the money, and being like what it is right now, where it's like everything costs a lot, and you gotta, like, all your repairs are costing you and stuff, or maybe even, on an easy mode, your repairs don't cost any money at all or something. I don't know. One of those things, I feel like you could do something like that, have it be an optional mode that people can choose if they want, and just have it be a way to sort of get past this initial hurdle. But anyway, spitballing. In any event, can I get back to the main menu from here? That's a question. Yeah, here we go. In any event, my friends, this has been Delta V. It is Delta V Rings of Saturn, I should say. It is by Codera Software. It is not yet released on Steam, but it seems like it might be getting close. Its release date just says 2019 right now. You can, however, download the demo. I believe the demo is close, if not exactly the same as what you just saw here. This is version 0.77.3, so I believe that he's keeping I shouldn't say he. The developer is keeping, because I don't know. The developer is keeping the build in sync right now, I believe, if I've read that correctly. So you should be able to download the demo and play around with it yourself and see if it's your cup of tea or not. And as always, I will leave links down in the description so you can do your own due diligence. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you next time.